Welcome to the Sew Along 2018 with the GourmetQuilter. And we're doing a New Zealand Sew Along using some very delicious fabrics by Nutex with New Zealand designs on them. And some of our applique, we're doing an applique block this time. Some of those are New Zealand as well. We're going to be doing a little kiwi bird. We do two blocks of a design, but we do them in different directions. So the notes, if you've already purchased the pattern from GourmetQuilter.com, you'll have this pattern. The bird's going in both directions, ready for tracing. So the pattern is available, it's still available to download from GourmetQuilter.com. And you can go on there and find the Sew Along 2018, and it's available to purchase and download. So I've already made one of my kiwis up here. So this is a very delicious looking kiwi bird with a nice fern design on the fabric, which has pretty much come in as an eye and all sorts of things. It was very convenient. So I'm making the second block now. So I've already started. I'll just show you how I'm positioning the pieces, because I think you probably know how to do the applique. I'm using a machine blanket stitch. So I've already actually stitched around two pieces. So I find that, like, when you look at a bird, one leg is going to be behind and one's going to be in front, and the beak kind of comes out from inside there. So I thought that it made some sense to put those things on first and then come back and put the top shapes on afterwards. So I've gone ahead and stitched them, and by also by putting them on first and stitching them, I don't have to worry about tying off my ends because they get covered by the next piece. So I've gone ahead and done those two. I'll just show you what I would do next, or what I will do next. So I'm going to put the bird body shape on next, and I just need to look at it to make sure I get it right. We don't want a bird facing the wrong way or something. So keep an eye on how you're positioning your shapes on your fabric. Make sure things are fairly well centered with your gaps on the sides and things like that. So I've got it positioned so that the beak comes out of the little sort of notch as if it's part of him there, and I'm just going to iron that on over the top there. Now there's one more foot to go on, and we can do that at the same time. And that would go on, that sits on over the top because one foot is behind and one is in front. So it's best to try and keep things, the perspective on things as much as possible, even though we're actually just using shapes that are not absolutely realistic. So I think that's looking pretty good. So we'll iron that on too. So those little toes that he's got there, which in real life are quite large for the size of the bird, are really quite small when we're going to stitch them. So I'll go around one of the, I'm going to go right around the body. You can do this all in one go and come back to the foot and then come all the way around the foot and finish off back there, so that we don't have to stop and start too often. So I'm going to go ahead and start on the body and end up doing the foot at the end. So when you're doing little curves and things, just go one stitch at a time if you need to. Leave the needle down off the applique and just move your fabric as you need to. So I've come all the way around the body and I've arrived back at the leg, and I'm just coming down his leg now, and I'll just go around these little toes just very slowly. Leave the needle down, turn your fabric, do a stitch back off the side again. So I pretty much turn every time I've done one of those little in stitches. So I like to lift the foot. I've got a little knee lift going here, rather than just wrenching the fabric round, because I find that the stitches go at a funny angle doing that, which may be what you want, but it wasn't what I wanted. So just around those little toes, one step at a time. So don't rush it, just take your time. on that last little bit now. Oops. And just come back up around the top of that leg. We've done our little kiwi. So the only other thing to do now, apart from just perhaps give him a little press, would be if we want to mark an eye on him. Well, I think probably we could mark an eye. So I'm going to go ahead and give him a quick press to make sure he's sitting nice and flat. And so if I was going to mark an eye on him, you might not see it on this fabric, but I would use one of the Micron Pigma pens. And I would come in here and I would have a look and think, well, where would he see from? And the chances are he'd probably see from somewhere close to the red dot that's already on my fabric, but maybe just down a bit. And I'm just going to mark with that pen just a nice round circle there so that he can see. I think he probably feels better if he can see. I feel better if he can see. Kiwi birds have a little tuft of little tiny feathers that come out at that point as well, so you could, if you wanted to, mark some of those. Now you don't have to use the pen. You might prefer to stitch little things in or not even put them in. That's really up to you how you go about that. So that's my second kiwi bird. I've already done the first up there. So these two little kiwis are very happy, not exactly on speaking terms currently, but that was block 15 out of the 25, so we're moving right along with the sew along, and we'll see you again for block 16. Thank you.